All right, everybody, welcome back to
Doug.
Talk Sports. All right, so we are finally back after a little hiatus. There was a lot going on. I moved recently, so I am no longer in the folks' house. I am in my own little lone little area, so I'm finally settled in. So I'm ready to pod again.
Shout out.
Yes, when full adult. Um, so we got plenty to talk about. We got the usual suspects here. We got Pete and Danimal, everyone's favorite angry Jets fan, and now we have everyone's favorite angry Dallas Mavericks fan. So
Pain.
m-
Oh God. Maximum pain. Maximum
maximum
pain.
pain. So we're gonna pretty much start it off with that. We're gonna go with the wildness of the NBA. The trade deadline happened. And the last week of the NBA is the trade deadline is and free agency is always more interesting than the actual games being played. Um, but Luka Doncic did get
Yeah, if
traded.
you're a Nets fan.
Yeah, well, if you're a fan at all, but um, the Luka Doncic was traded to the Los Angeles Lakers for Anthony Davis, a first round pick, and Max Christie or Doug, yeah, Max Christie.
Max
Ma-
Christie. Yes, Max
Max.
Max
Christie.
Christie.
Hey, and let's not forget that Maxi Kleba and Markeith Morris also got shipped off to La La Land.
Yes, it was a three-team trade that included the Jazz.
Yeah, and the Jazz.
Max Christie, the underrated piece in this trade, by the way. He's very good perimeter defender
Yeah,
and
he's a
three-point
very good
shooter.
defender. But we have
I
to
don't
have
give a fuck. How about that?
we have to get Pete's reaction here as the resident Mavericks fan. So there you go. How about it?
I know that we're trying to keep this a PG show, but what the fuck? Can I just all right, Dan,
It warrants it.
It
It warrants
warrants
it.
it. It warrants it.
Dan, you are probably you watch the NBA just as long as I have.
Hmm.
This has got to be the probably the biggest trade and probably the worst trade I've ever seen in our lifetime, our generation of watching the NBA. I can't fathom to think of a different trade that this just that parallels this. Luka Doncic is generational, and by generational, the one of one. Even for a 270-pound Slovenian kid that eats Big Macs and drinks Heinekens,
Cankles.
I don't, I don't care. I'm flashing back to last year during the playoffs with him putting um, defensive player of the year, uh, the center, on skates and just dropping a three from 40 feet away, just to seal a game. I make it make sense.
Well, what happened was the Mavericks hated Luka Doncic, so they traded him away. It was
Yeah,
I think it was very personal. The reasons given were they didn't want to pay him the supermax. They were afraid of the commitment because he wasn't committed. He was fat. He was out of shape. He was getting hurt a lot. They felt like he didn't care. So they're like, fuck.
Fat and out of shape. That fat and out of shape Slovenian led the league in minutes last year. Let's not forget.
yes, he did.
Did we not forget that?
Pete, tell us what that was really a cover for. Now that I am educated as far as the Mavs new ownership group goes,
So
you can explain what that's actually a cover for.
I'll take my Raiders cap off. I'll put my tinfoil hat on right now. So Mark Cuban sells majority stake of the Dallas Mavericks to new ownership. Happens to be business people. They're not NBA people. Some rich white woman, some old that owns casinos. She is looking to bring the casino trade down to old Yeehaw land down there in HEB land, down where Dano's shooting off guns and doing all that fun stuff. Well, guess what? Those conservative fucks don't want casinos down in Dallas land.
It ain't happening.
She is hell-bent on lobbying for being able to create this resort built around the Dallas Mavericks in the greater Fort Worth area and having a casino and just this massive property. All right. That's cool and all. Guess what? It's not getting approved. She can lobby all she wants. This is where your tinfoil hat goes on. What better way to say, all right, fine. Here's my bargaining chip right here. I'm going to move the Dallas Mavericks. Move the Dallas Mavericks, you say? That can't happen. Dallas, top 4 market in the league. Well, guess what? Our boy Adam Silver, he wants a Las Vegas team. So what better way? Let's send off the greatest player in this generation right now. Let's ship him off to La La Land where they get their new budding star because the LeBron he's going to go do whatever LeBron wants to do. So LA can shine nice and bright again. And then they left Dallas with pennies. No, 1 first-round pick. Probably could have got 3 or 4 firsts for him. Dallas toils away. They suffer. When they tank, they alienate an entire fan base. No one stops going to games. So you know what? Hey, we're fledgling down here in Texas now. Move us to your new location. But bam, Las Vegas, Nevada, home of the Las Vegas Mavericks. Come to our casino while you stay and watch a game.
There's another scenario where your tinfoil hat conspiracy also makes sense, where, okay, they know that Texas lawmakers aren't going to change their mind about this anytime soon. And then in 2 years, when the elections happen, they would have to wait for that. In the meantime, buy time by not having to pay supermax contracts out, right? Save money and then see what happens in 2 years and then make a decision from there. Could I be wrong about that too?
Anything's in play at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just,
I think they didn't want to pay him.
It baffles me that regardless of conditioning and whatnot, the only thing this move is going to do is
alienate the fans.
Well, besides alienate the fans, Nico Harrison, he better hope and pray that Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving and Klay Thompson can put this thing together right now and win a championship. Because if they don't win a championship this year, and give you next year too. As I'm not sure on Kyrie's contract. I don't know if he's signed through next year, but you might only have 1 year to get this done with. And if you don't, man, you're Nico Harrison's out of a job. Jason Kidd's probably out of a job. I mean, just a ripple effect of this.
If I'm Jason Kidd, I want out anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you got to. I guess this half year left is
it. That's it.
You gambled all in, shoved your chips in the center, and see.
Which, by the way, they're beating the Celtics right now, 72-56 in the beginning of the second half. So, who knows?
Without Anthony Davis right
I
now. So
think what people are really not talking about with this trade is um, because this kind of was a domino effect that led to the other trades that didn't really involve a lot of first round picks. This trade really devalued the first round pick in basketball. Um, all of a sudden, like none of these trades featured more than two first round picks that had stars, whether it be Jimmy Butler being traded to the Warriors, and we had De'Aaron Fox traded to the Spurs, which is very underrated. And that's a
Yeah.
huge deal for the Spurs. Like the
Yes,
Spurs are
it is.
good for a long time. Fox has always been a very good player, very underrated player, but not a lot of picks have changed hands. All of a sudden, the value of a first round pick in the NBA has plummeted because of this.
Zach, Zach, do you think that has something to do with the Knicks Nets trade in the offseason
I think
last year?
I was just about to say that. I think it has everything to do with not just the Nets Knicks trade. We could talk about the Rudy Gobert trade too to the Minnesota Timberwolves. That netted 4 first round picks.
like that's crazy to me.
That's crazy. That is
It's just
crazy.
like
Yeah, the Nets
four
got
first round picks for that guy. And then
Yeah,
I know Anthony Davis got traded along with this, and I'm not saying Anthony, by no means am I saying Anthony Davis is a slouch. It's just that at this point in his career where he's at his trajectory and his ceiling compared to somebody like Luka Doncic, it's just you're only
not
getting
even close.
you're only getting one first. I mean, just the NBA how they do trades in general. Like you're getting, I'm going to trade you a 2051 unprotected first round. Like it's just the way
Silly.
the whole structure of it is just beyond me. But
yeah,
I
I don't think you're gonna get I don't think you're really gonna see trades now post the Nets Knicks trade of Mikal Bridges where you see that many first round picks trade hands now. I think that was kind of the nail in the coffin because the KD trade netted the Nets 4 first round picks too. So as soon
that's
as the
Kevin
league,
Durant.
yeah, which I understand, and with Mikel going to the Knicks and the Nets getting 5 first rounders for Mikel, I think the rest of the league was like, whoa, all right, like hold on a minute here. And I think that's why, not a lot of draft capital was moved during the trade deadline this year. It was mainly players. It
Could
was
you imagine in the NFL something like that happening? Like I'm trading 5 first round picks for,
it can't, number one, it's part of the CBA. Or
but exactly. All right, exactly.
so
But
in
like,
the NBA CBA, you cannot trade more than 7 first round picks because the Nets then because if everyone remembers, the Nets traded 7 for James Harden. And in the NFL, you cannot trade more than 3. So it's different for each league. The CBA is different for each league. Um,
Yeah.
but I mean, yeah,
I think
obviously
three
this,
first round picks could be traded for Miles Garrett if that ends up happening.
listen, if a
I think
team is
it's
dumb enough
possible.
to do it,
Yeah.
Miles Garrett,
Anyway,
we'll get to that, but
anyway, I know. I'm sorry.
no, that's all right. But I mean, yeah, just I've never seen like the ripple effect. Like this was a tsunami of
it
just
changed
when
the NBA forever. I mean, this past year changed
I
it
woke
forever.
up to those to the text message of no way Luka got traded. I looked at my phone and I was like, what is this kid smoking?
And then
And
you
then
and then you remembered I don't smoke.
and then I look, I open up the X, and the first thing I see, Sham Sharanya. And old Shami, this trade was so crazy that Shams had to tweet out again to confirm to say that no, I haven't been hacked. This is a real thing.
Mhm.
Yep. Nobody saw
People,
it coming. Nobody
people
saw
that
it
know
coming.
nothing about sports know that Luka Doncic getting traded to the Lakers
He's so right.
was
He's so right.
wrong. Like this,
Yes. Alicia said something to me about it
like
because she likes him.
Yeah,
I was like, "Oh, you heard about this?" She was like, "Yeah, it's all over my socials." So,
yeah.
Like
Steph said something.
this is
Steph
like
said something to me.
people explain this to me in baseball terms and explain this to me in like pop culture terms. Like all of these, like it's like trading Taylor Swift for Cher. Like it's
at this point, yeah,
It was so funny. It's Steph, Steph who has, doesn't really know basketball at all and doesn't really care for basketball. She's like, "Who's Luka Doncic?" And I'm like, if she knows, like,
like
it was
this
all over.
boom,
it
like
was all over the
a
place.
nuclear bomb. Just never. I never expect, and the thing is, I never expected this. Like, you can't fathom. Like, so Dan and I were talking while you were away during our little pre-setup here. That I think the biggest thing for me is like I always expected Luka to be a lifer
Oh
because
yeah.
he was the transition from Dirk.
Hmm.
And Dirk was like you talk about loyalty in sports, like you have Derek Jeter. Dirk Nowitzki is right there with Derek Jeter in terms of team.
Loyalty.
Um,
Yeah.
and I think him essentially having that one season, his last Luka's rookie season, it was the perfect transition. And I feel like that's kind of a slap in the face to Dirk almost. It's like it's not every day in a franchise or especially in sports where there's loyalty like that. And I think when you have a guy, especially of the caliber of Luka, who wants to be there, like they did him dirty.
The ownership group, they don't care. They're seeing is bottom line in business, and they don't care about anything that happened. They don't care about legacy. They don't care about loyalty. They only care about money, and it's sad.
The damn shame.
Yep.
Yeah, it's and you know what? It overshadowed, like I said, the De'Aaron Fox to the Spurs trade. I think that's a huge deal for
It's a
San
huge
Antonio.
deal. Huge deal.
Um, and the Jimmy Butler to the Warriors, gives Steph one last try to get one last ring. Um, KD almost got traded again. There were a lot of offers for him.
He didn't
He
want.
said no.
And that's another thing. Like
Yeah, he said
I thought
no.
it was very funny. Like I was like, wow, that the Warriors wanted him back, and he was like, "Don't fucking trade me to the Warriors. I ain't
Yeah.
going. I ain't," because there was a deal in place that he was going to the Warriors, and Jimmy Butler was going somewhere else. It was a three. It was like a three team, but
He was going to go to Phoenix,
yeah.
Yeah, he was gonna go to Phoenix.
And Katie was like, "No, don't send me to. I ain't going."
which is kind of wild.
It is. Why wouldn't he want to try to win again in the
Well,
only
because
place that he's ever won?
he's never he doesn't
He
like
doesn't want to be Robin.
Well, no, he doesn't like Draymond Green. That's why he left the Warriors in the first place secretly. Is because he
Nobody,
hated Draymond Green.
nobody likes
Nobody likes Draymond Green. No, nobody likes him.
Draymond
Not
Green.
even the players on the freaking Warriors like Draymond Green.
Yeah, because KD in like an old interview on his podcast, The Boardroom, when he was on the Nets, they're like, how come you didn't stay there? Like you could have won 6 championships there. He's like, I was going to, and then Draymond got up in my shit, and it was never the same because KD's a little sensitive. So
He's a little sensitive.
yeah, he's a little sensitive,
He-
so that bothered
yeah.
him. And it is what it is. There were rumblings of him
Slim was
going.
pretty sensitive.
There were rumblings of him going to Dallas.
Heard that too. That
Local,
all right.
local.
That would be interesting.
All right. Now, if they would have, all right, they jettisoned Luka over to La La Land. They got AD. They got Kyrie already there. You got Klay Thompson. Man,
Max Christie now.
if they had if Kevin Durant came over,
That would be really interesting.
that's like I love you, Luka, but that's like, all right, that makes sense.
Yes.
Because there is reports from a local guy here, Scoop B, friends of Nikasi, shout out here in Brooklyn. He has always been locked into KD Kyrie news. Worked for Bali Sports. Plugging him here right now. KD and Kyrie are interested in being teammates again in the future, whether that be on the Suns or whether that be in Dallas. KD does not.
Hmm.
KD's contract expires in 2026. Um, and there's a lot of rumblings of a reunion in Brooklyn with KD going to Brooklyn again in 2026. So it really depends on what happens here. So
All right, I'm looking up Kyrie Irving's contract because
I'm doing that too, Dan. I got it. All right, so Spotrac has Kyrie. He so he has this year, he has a player option for next year,
mm,
2026, and then he's an unrestricted in 26-27 season.
so he does have a player option.
yeah,
For
so him and KD will be free agents at the same time again.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, it's a little interesting.
but those, geez, man, there's smoke, there's fire, there's bad decisions. That's
So I guess you just have to hope that KD somehow becomes interested in playing for Dallas.
I mean, by then he'll be 36, so I don't know, how much more does he have left in the tank. I think if you have to be a super contending team already, and he may be the final piece, by then Kyrie will be 33, how much, you don't know.
Kyrie's still young.
He's young enough. He's
Yeah,
young enough.
he's got some years left still.
It feels like, yeah, it's wild because what Kyrie came into the league when it was 18, 19.
Yeah.
Yes,
He
19.
played 1 year at Duke.
Yep.
I guess that's why it feels like he's been in the league forever.
He's been in the league a long time now. But yeah, I mean, that's crazy. So we're talking about a possible scenario where KD, Kyrie, um, Thompson, Max Christie, and
Anthony
AD and Anthony
Davis,
Davis.
not counting on Derek Lively, who's
Right.
the young power forward center, Daniel Gafford. Like, that's a
Role
lot of
player. That's good.
um
That's good.
Anthony Davis, his contract, he is under contract through the 26-27 season. And then he has a player option for the 27-28 season. So he's in Dallas for 2,
years.
maybe possibly a third year, because that player option is a $62 million option. And it's hard to see
He's not
someone
going to turn that
not,
down.
not
Yeah,
picking
he's
that
going
up.
to accept that. He's going to accept that option. Yeah.
So you got him for 3 more years.
Yeah. That makes that really interesting because any deal I would think that KD would make would be like a 2 to 3 year deal at most.
Yeah.
Yeah, with a
So
player option.
NBA contracts are just so wild.
They're
They're
dumb.
massive, like
They're way too big. They're way too big
massive
for a
money.
declining sport, in my opinion. It's a declining sport. The viewership is awful,
well, it's awful because the league is run by awful people.
Yeah.
And
Dan,
I think that has a lot less to do with money than it just does how the league is run. The marketing is terrible. They really only have a young fan base watching. The older they've completely evaporated their older fan base. I mean, it just doesn't exist anymore.
alien.
The in season tournament has completely devalued the regular season.
Oh,
So everything that Adam Silver has done is basically just completely destroyed what David Stern built. David Stern built an amazing league. And I feel like ever since he's gone, it's just been in decline.
Because now all of the control, you could thank probably LeBron for this. The player has the majority of the control in the NBA. And I think like things like that, the mid-season tour, the in tournament, like that again, trying to take some power back because it's you're not you don't rest your stars every other like why would you go to a basketball game because you want to see
The best players.
the best players play,
Yep.
not not B League player. I'm not going to a basketball game to see Bronny James play.
No. By the
So
way, Dallas is up 18 right now on Boston. They're in Boston.
4:12 left in the third quarter.
Yep. Yeah, I agree with you. I think the player rest thing, which I don't know how that started. It probably did start with LeBron. My memory is just escaping me. It completely destroyed the regular season in the NBA. And the fact that they ever needed to even have a discussion to do an in-season tournament is proof of that. And now that it exists, it's just further proof that the league is it's in the
Soft.
basement. It's in the
Soft.
basement and it's soft and nobody respects it. And that's a huge problem. And if nobody respects it, how can you ever gain viewers? You're not going to gain viewers.
And just the game itself has changed so much. It's not a fun game to watch anymore. Like the possessions are just shoot a three, get a
Most
rebound,
teams, yes.
and foul, shoot free throws. Like it's a very slow, plodding game now. It's
Yes.
just not what it was.
Yes, I frequently watch whenever the Knicks are on national TV. Their games are exciting because they actually play defense. There are a few teams that actually play defense, but then a West Coast game will come on after the Knicks are done, and then all I see is up and down, fast pace, 3-point shot, 3-point shot, back and forth, 3-point shot, back and forth, 3-point shot, maybe a dunk here and there, maybe, but there's no defense and there's no grit on offense. There's no grit on D. Like
There's no
that is
edge.
completely like the West Coast version of basketball, which has always been high flying, like fast pace. Only a couple of teams play gritty. The Jazz, the Nuggets. Maybe you could say Memphis, but there aren't many, and that's also just contributed to nobody gives a shit. I mean, when you look at college basketball compared to what these guys are doing, it's night and day as
Oh,
far as the effort that the guys give in college ball. It's so much greater. There's actually defense being played. There's strategy during these timeouts. There's no strategy during these NBA timeouts. It's such a joke. Some
Yeah.
of these guys actually do coach, but very few of these guys coach. It's just a break for the players at this point.
Yeah, it's just a timeout, little breather, get some Gatorade. I will, you know what, Dan? I know they suck, but I will add the Nets to your list. The Nets
That's
play.
fine. And to be fair, I haven't watched the Nets. I've only really on nationally televised games seen the Knicks. So that's
uh,
fair because I haven't watched them.
yeah, the Nets play very gritty, and they're very well coached by Jordi Fernandez. They're actually pretty much they just had a 3-game winning streak, and they lost last night, but they're pretty much locked into the fifth spot in the lottery. So they have to hope for the ping pong balls to go their way because they won too many games early in the season with a bunch of nobodies. So, and Sean Marks tried to, ensure the tank with getting rid of Schroeder and a couple other players. The Nets
And
are
it didn't work.
Nets are in the process of buying out Ben Simmons. He will probably be a free agent in the next couple days.
That
well,
that the fact. Oh, okay, could we talk about that because how long was this guy allowed to be there doing nothing? And what an embarrassment on
since he
Sean
got
Marks, who I think is a good GM. So what is that, Pete?
since he got there.
Yeah, since he got there. And I told you it was a joke since he got there, and it has been a joke. It's been more like an abomination than a joke. Um, I want to like Sean Marks, but that move by itself and the fact that it lasted this long, and I get it, it was probably just impossible to move him, but the fact that they got him in the first place,
Philly
really,
knew what they were
really,
doing when they.
really, really poor decision.
Yeah. Well, it was for the Harden trade. It was to help match the salaries at the time. So,
Yeah.
and maybe we thought that he could, if we get him out of Philly, he'll be happy again and maybe he'll play. But
Bum.
he was never the same. He was a bum. He had back injuries. Um, and he helped the tank,
Okay, so
I think.
so Zach, would you want KD and Kyrie back on the team? Do you think that it was just the James Harden trade that ruined the potential of that whole deal?
Oh yeah. I mean, every Nets fan will tell you, um, James Harden. I mean, first off, there's plenty of episodes in the past of the whole debacle and my hour and a half rant on everything when it all went down. But I mean, that team was going to win. They injuries and COVID screwed everything up. Kyrie had a temper tantrum about a certain ethnic group of America, and that wasn't a great look either.
Does
Uh,
he want to come back?
I don't know if Kyrie wants back. There are rumblings that KD would like a reunion with the Nets. He very much enjoyed
Really?
his time at the Nets. The Nets helped him with his Achilles injury. He didn't really want to leave the Nets. He felt like he just had to because Kyrie asked out. Um, so it's a
Well,
little
what? Because Kyrie asked out, he felt like he had to. Did
because
he?
he couldn't win
Like,
anymore.
when is he going to make a team his team?
I don't know. Then I mean
Like, how?
the Nets were his team, and he felt like he could win. Well, at the time, he wanted to win, and the Suns were ready to win, and he really wanted to play for Monty Williams. He had a very good relationship with Monty Williams, and then 1 year in, he's fired, and then that blows it all up.
Pete, am I crazy, or is this guy the softest big time superstar that there's ever been in the NBA?
I
Oh,
mean,
he's incredibly soft.
Am I wrong by saying that he's the softest
no,
that there's ever been?
he
As
he's
far as
been,
his level, I'm talking about elite of the elite in the NBA.
I mean, yes, I mean James Harden's kind of a diva.
Soft.
All right,
James Harden might be a diva. A lot of these guys are divas.
all right, yeah. He's
Right or wrong.
he's
He's soft.
he's a
You could say it. Yeah.
he's he's a marshmallow.
Okay. Zach, do you really want him back on the Nets? Just to go through the same nonsense that you already went through?
Well, I don't know if it would be the same nonsense because it would just be him. I don't know if Kyrie would come with him, but he is open to the idea of maybe retiring with the Nets and coming back when he's, 35, 36. And you hope that the Nets, have some young talent with all those draft picks that they have. Because fun fact, he coined the term Nets World. Like he coined that term. Every time you see it on Nets Twitter or social media where it says hashtag Nets World, that's him. He made that when he first came to the Nets. So he's kind of ingrained in our history. So I would be totally fine with him coming back. He's the
Uh,
best
With,
player
with,
we've ever had.
with all due respect, I liken that to Rex Ryan saying play like a Jet, which means absolutely fucking nothing.
uh,
Right or wrong.
you know what? Listen, I'm just looking down the road 5 years from now when Mavs are probably under new ownership, hopefully. Nico Harrison has been jettisoned to the moon, and Luka Doncic, I could wear this jersey again.
That's also a possibility because he said publicly he's not guaranteed to sign an extension with the Lakers. So
You know who the Nets should be going after? Go after Mitchell. He's a Brooklyn guy. He's a huge Mets fan. He wants to be in New York. Go get Donovan Mitchell and build your team around him. I
He's a dog.
guarantee you
He's a
could make it
dog.
happen.
They've been on his list for a long time. He signed an extension with Cleveland. He's not going anywhere. Cleveland's amazing right now.
I know. Maybe in 2 or 3 years. You never know with the NBA. These guys change their minds like they change their
He was
socks.
he was on the top of their list. He was on the top of the list before he signed that extension. If he had not signed that extension with Cleveland, the Nets had a package already ready for Cleveland. Like they were going to get him, and then he
That
decided
would
to
have been the
stay.
move.
Yeah, it
That
would have
would
been a
be
move.
as a Net fan, that would excite me way beyond anything, any kind of Kyrie or KD reunion because we've already heard that record.
What's
And
exciting for Nets fans right now is hopefully to get either the two kids from Rutgers or Cooper Flag. That's what we're hoping for.
Cooper Flag, hey, you could build a team around Cooper Flag, and I'm sure that would go better than bringing back KD and Kyrie.
Yes, I agree. I would take KD back. I wouldn't take Kyrie back, and Kyrie wouldn't come back. So
Right. So the only real scenario I could see right now, because Kyrie loves Dallas so much and is playing really well and is playing every game, very important, right? Because he didn't play for the Nets.
no, because he
Okay.
had an attitude problem.
Right. Whatever it was, it just didn't work
It,
out. It wasn't the right vibe. They didn't
change the
click,
scenery.
whatever you want to say.
Kyrie's happy,
He's happy in Dallas. He wants to play. He's playing every game.
playing well, high level.
And he's playing as high level of basketball as I've seen in his career. And this team makes more sense for a KD Kyrie reunion, a
Especially with the
lot more
pieces
than the Nets.
you have in place already. There's
Yeah.
young pieces, you have established pieces. I mean, it's going to take some money, but you figure that out, I guess.
Yeah,
If
I
you're the
mean,
Mavericks at this point, you go for it, right? What do you have to
I
lose?
mean,
Go for it.
from a winner's mentality, a championship caliber mentality of what, like, yes,
Go
like,
for it.
go, absolutely. But we say this about everything, and we, at the end of the day, we know shit about fuck, and we're just three dudes chatting on a podcast right now.
But what's the only thing that makes you feel even a little bit okay with Doncic not being here anymore? The
Championship.
only thing that makes you feel better is them showing some kind of commitment to trying to win, whether it's going to work or not.
Yes, yes, the chase for a championship.
Yes.
I guess that's the goal for any franchise. But yeah, that'll take the sting away. It won't sting as bad. It stings,
It'll sting, but it
It's
won't
still-
sting as bad.
and it's gonna sting forever. I feel like
Probably.
like this is like a franchise altering pillar that you just rip that. Right now, we're just
Oh yeah. Like half of the foundation is missing.
yeah.
It's hard to keep a building standing upright when your foundation's missing.
Mark Cuban, this is all
By the way,
this is all your fault, Mark Cuban. Guess what, Dano? I'm still, you know what? Since I'm in misery, here you go, dilly dilly. Flashback. Spurs, Knicks, finals. Inbounding the ball to Latrell Sprewell.
Yep.
Too far under the net, can't get the ball up.
Yep.
Spurs win.
Now to be fair, I was a bigger Nets fan back then. I disowned the Nets when they left New Jersey because New Jersey only had two teams and now New Jersey only has one, and I hate the Devils. So at the time I was a bigger. I watched that finals and I was rooting for the Knicks.
I think
I was a bigger Nets fan.
But yeah, Latrell Sprewell got that inbound too far underneath the basket.
Yes, he did.
All right, fine. Here's some more salt in the wound. Jason Kidd with Vince Carter couldn't get it done 2 years in a row.
Now that hurt. That hurt.
That hurt, especially
That
since they just
absolutely hurt.
retired his number.
Maximum
Yeah.
pain.
I thought for sure I was going to see a Nets championship. For sure I was going to get one. Not only did I not get one, but then they moved out of New Jersey. And my heart was, I was just completely devastated. I couldn't take it anymore. So,
That team was built for a champion. Jason Kidd was probably top five
No,
player in the league.
oh my God, he was a cold-blooded killer. He's such an underrated player still. I mean, people don't realize how good a point guard he really was.
Kid,
True point guard.
Kid, Kerry Kittles, VC,
Kenyon Martin,
Kenyon Martin,
yeah,
Dikembe Mutombo at one
Mutombo,
point.
yeah, it was a lot
Scalabrine.
of fun, man. They were a lot of
It
fun.
was so much fun, dude. That was such a cool team to watch. It really was. And that
Core
team just
memory.
couldn't get it done.
Oh, I can't believe we left out Jefferson too.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
Richard
Richard
Jefferson,
Jefferson, RJ.
RJ.
who calls Nets games now. So
Yep.
with
Yep.
Mr. Iron Eagle. But I mean, yeah, I mean, we thought we were going to win one at least with them, and I really thought we were going to win one with KD and Kyrie that one year. Like they were,
But
if
on the line.
the foot on the line. It's the most tragic thing I've ever seen in my fandom as a Nets because they were
It's
going to win. Like it
You
just
know what it is. You know what it is, Zach. You said it to me a while ago, and you're right. I mean, it's the ETS. It's
ETS
it's
curse.
it's the ETS. It doesn't work out real well for us
No,
ETS people.
nope. But you know what? It's a requirement for all New York team or New York sports fans. You have to be a fan of at least one to keep yourself in check.
One ETS.
Need to have one to keep yourself in check.
Yeah, there can never be too much happiness. So you have to have one ETS team if you're a
Even
New
though
York
there
sports
really
fan.
isn't much happiness in New York outside the
You
baseball.
the ETS. What is? You need to elaborate into this.
The ETS,
Nets, Jets.
All
Very
it's
simple as that.
right, we're gonna have a moment of silence right now.
Okay.
Moment has passed. Luka, I'd like to thank you for everything that you did while you were up in the white, the blue, the black. Fun times, rookie of the year, all-star, 73, took us to a championship. Couldn't win it. We'll see you again.
Yeah, could happen. So we'll move on to I think that was the most we covered NBA in like years.
Yeah.
So we got we'll finish with the Super Bowl. We're not going to get there yet. We're going to talk baseball here first. Yankees, Mets news. Pitchers and catchers report in 1 week.
49 days till opening day, baby.
Anyway,
Who has their ticket?
Pete Alonso.
This dog does.
Pete Alonso returned to the Mets, 2-year deal, $54 million. They needed that big time. They needed that power bat behind Soto. So now their
They need
lineup is.
pitchers.
Hmm?
They need pitchers. That's what they need.
Yeah, well, they need pitchers, but I'm not there yet. We'll get to the Mets in a second.
Real quick, Pete Alonso, tail between his legs, left a lot of money on the table last year.
Oh my God.
Should have signed the offer that he was given, and now he's paying the price.
Who's
He left
his
$100
agent?
million.
Scott Boras.
He's the
Scott
worst agent.
Boras fumbles more contracts than any. I don't care if he got Juan Soto 700.
Pete, you and I could have gotten Juan Soto 700.
Yeah, that was a given.
Outside of that, he fumbles more. Like people have their bags, and it's like the money bags with the dollar sign on them, and they're leaving the vault right now. And then Scott Boras is like that oaf that like hits into the bag, cuts it, and then all the coins just spill out the bottom as you're walking out of the bank.
Yeah, he left $100 million on the table
That's crazy.
because Scott Burris said you could get more. because he does not, he no longer can accurately predict a baseball market because these owners don't want to pay shit, So he's just thinking that, oh, all his clients are just going to make all this money.
Yeah,
When,
he's still thinking it's the A-Rod era.
yeah, and that's the issue. So, but yeah, Mets got polar bear back. Yankees, we're going into spring training here with no third baseman. Before I start my little mini Yankees rant, because everyone loves my rants, I will preface it with this to start it off, to keep it a little bit more positive for Mr. Peter here.
Oh, oh,
On on
positive. All right. We're speaking my language now.
So before I go into my normal Zach tangent about the Yankees, yes, on paper, the Yankees are probably a better team this year than last year. I don't think that is a ridiculous thing to say. Especially with an
Fair.
improved bullpen. They have an actual closer now, arguably one of the best closers in baseball, who we don't have to pay for a long time. Um, Cody Bellinger is a natural fit for Yankee Stadium. He's a lefty power hitter. He could easily hit 40 home runs. Um,
He's legacy too.
he's legacy, correct. And Max Fried, when healthy, is one of the best left-handed pitchers in baseball. So the Yankees were the most aggressive team in free agency. They did make the most moves. Yes, all of that is very true. The American League got even weaker. Cleveland lost some pieces. I mean, the Yankees will probably make the World Series just out of default because the AL is so weak. They may not even like have to do much to get there, but and that's all well and dandy. But
Oh, but
there's always the but, like Charles Barkley likes to do. But
but
they do not have a third baseman. Now, Oswaldo Cabrera is a nice player. I think he's a very good all-around utility player that can play third, play second. When you need a couple games when somebody gets hurt. I think that is a very fine player and good piece to have. DJ LeMahieu should not be on a major league roster. And the fact that Aaron Judge stuck his big chest out and said, "You're not getting rid of my boy," who had a -3 WAR last year for the Yankees, who hasn't been the same since the COVID year, is ridiculous. And it leaves a stain on Aaron Judge's captaincy, in my opinion. I think he's a fantastic player. I think Aaron Judge is walking into the Hall of Fame. I think he's one of the most physically gifted baseball players we have ever seen wear the pinstripes outside of Mickey Mantle. But in terms of being a captain, like Derek Jeter, where winning matters at all costs, he's not that whatsoever. Because if that really did matter, then he would have helped make the moves necessary to ensure that we were ready to win. He would have actually picked up the phone and tried to recruit Juan Soto. He would have said, "Hey, let's bring these guys in. Let's take these guys out. We need to win. I don't give a shit." Yes, this is a guy that left $85 million on the table from the Padres to stay with us. So yes, that does mean something. But he needs to act like a captain. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this. Oh, he's a nice guy. He hugs everybody. He's a true locker room leader. And listen, I'm sure he is. But don't sit there and tell me and the rest of the Yankee fan base that winning is all that matters, and your behaviors don't reflect that. So the Yankees have a massive hole at third base that they'll just plug in with band-aids and duct tape instead of doing what they should be doing and going and get Alex Bregman, which another Scott Boras client who wants 6 to 7 years, not going to happen. So he might be sitting out and not have a job. So that's my little two cents. I do think the Yankees will win over 100 games this year, but not having another infielder to really put themselves over the top to, play the Dodgers, because they're going to play the Dodgers if they make the World Series. And if your team is not good enough to beat the Dodgers, then what are you doing? So
There's still time. There, there's still time. Listen, free agency bleeds into and pretty much into the beginning of the regular season now. You know, it used to just be spring training. Now it seems to be like the first week or two of the regular season. So don't be surprised if they still make a move.
I'd
Yeah.
love it. So Patrick Surtain just won Defensive Player of the Year. I don't mean to interrupt.
Yep.
Um,
Jaden Daniels won Rookie of the Year, offensive.
Bullshit.
Saquon, offensive player. Jim Brock Bowers got one vote. Jaden
Robbery.
Daniels got 49 other votes.
Well, you know what?
Quarterback.
Whoever that one person is, shout out. Drinks on your boy right here. Curtis.
Probably Mark Davis.
Good. You know what? I'll get his stupid haircut too. It's a couple of dogs. But all right, so let's talk Yankees. I mean, so we do have a hole at third base. Do I think that's the end of the world? No. We went to the World Series with less last year. Moving Jazz Chisholm over to his natural position at second base, it's only going to get better. Gleyber Torres at second base was
Pitiful.
Peace.
Pitiful.
Have fun in Detroit, loser.
All right, let's not. All right, not a loser, but
Loser.
God.
Listen, the truth hurts. I'm sorry.
It's not a loser.
Great bat, terrible defender.
Yeah.
He should be a DH at this point because where are you going to put him?
I said countless times that he played Little League defense.
Yeah.
So putting Jazz at second, I like it. You know what? Oswaldo Cabrera, he was hot for us in the beginning of last year. Maybe a full run at a steady position is what he needs. DJ, I mean, the fall off from DJ, he hasn't been healthy in the last 2-3 years.
Long time.
Before I understand that. I mean, before that, he was an MVP candidate. So I know people love to talk shit about his contract, but when he signed that contract after he had his MVP year or near MVP year, we thought that was the greatest
We did.
Steal.
We did.
Because he should have went for more money than he got. And you know what? I'm fine with that. Maybe we get half of what he used to be. I'll take that. He still has a really good glove. He struggles behind the plate. I think our bullpen is still our biggest strength outside of Aaron Judge. And it only got better. So Devin Williams is a closer. You have nothing but great tools to get to him. Dreamweaver, what we got out of him in the postseason last year was incredible. I think he got tired towards the end of it, but now he has a defined role in that bullpen. Not just, we're going to throw you out in the sixth inning. We might throw you out in the seventh inning. You're set up. Oh, now you're our closer. Like, he has a defined role now. He should be the setup guy for Devin Williams.
Loizaga, seventh, right?
If he's healthy and we get the Loizaga that we're used to, or that's
nasty,
disgusting. The guy that we just re-signed, the lefty,
Tim Hill.
Oh, Tim Hill.
Yeah,
Rich Hill. Tim Hill. Right? Tim Hill.
Dog.
Yeah, I like him.
Adding Max Fried to the starting rotation. Cole Fried, it's a nasty 1-2. Our boy Rodon had a massive year last year. He
did.
That was his bounce back year. We're going to have him. Luis Heel, Rookie of the Year.
I'm so curious about him.
Well, if he can cut down the walks, and then you have Schmitty, who was filthy, and then he got hurt. Like, that's a nasty rotation.
You're getting me pumped up now. I'm almost excited for baseball.
Is it baseball season yet? Because I hope so.
I'm going to read you guys a little tidbit because Cashman was on the hot stove with Jack Curry tonight.
Oh, all right.
This is the main tidbit making the rounds because the rest of it was blah 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 blah. Hi, how are you? Oh, we kind of should have done this, or shit like that.
I love you, Cashman.
So this is regards to the Jazz Chisholm trade. Brian Cashman, and I quote: "When I acquired Jazz to be our second baseman and moved Glaber to third the rest of last year. Booney wanted to do it the other way, and he moved Jazz to third after we got him because Glaber was unwilling to move to third base. So Aaron Boone was completely okay with making sure we had the worst defensive option possible because he did not want to hurt his feelings. That is not a championship winning manager. I actually can't even give Cashman shit for this. Cashman's like, no, I want him to play second base. And Boone's like, well,
but all right, but can I?
This isn't so black and white. Go ahead, Pete.
The last time we tried to move Glaber out of position and we moved him to shortstop, it did not work out well because he was too in his head about his defense. His bat suffered. So at that point, you have a better shot at teaching Jazz third base than you have to move Jazz to second and hope to God that Glaber can play third base and then hit still.
They call it the hot corner for a reason. The second base position is theoretically, and has been for a while, the easiest position to play in the infield. So why is Booney catching crap for that? I mean, he was the worst defender on the team by a mile. Why wouldn't you put him in the least important position on the field? Why would you want him at the hot corner? It doesn't make any sense. And plus, now, I mean, in retrospect, how did Jazz play at third? Because I thought he was great.
Jazz, for somebody that ever played third base in his entire life.
Well, because he's a freak athlete. I think he's just a super underrated player.
And who actually has an arm? Gleyber Torres has a noodle arm. Who actually has an arm to play third base?
Yeah.
I don't like this whole that shouldn't fall on Booney at all.
I think Boone made the best decision in what he was given at that for that. But again, I mean,
I agree. I'll take it all back.
Glaber, it's that
they tried to win the World Series. They still went to the World Series.
We went to the World Series, and we talked about this with two guys, Anthony Rizzo and Verdugo,
doing nothing.
They're not even on a team right now.
No.
And they were our starting players at left field and first base.
I mean,
we were excited about Marcus Stroman going into last year. Do you all remember this? Okay.
All right, and I didn't get to him. He will be so, like you said, Dano. There's still time to make moves. Marcus Stroman will not be on the Yankees roster going into this season.
He shouldn't be.
He's going to get moved, and there's going to be another option at third base coming. So, my Zach Grassampa.
Listen, if it happens, I'll be happy. You know what? I do have to appreciate Marcus Stroman for creating an immortal picture with me and the
dude. Yeah.
I do have to give him credit.
You know what? Shout out to the grill and the do-rag. It was a vibe.
It was.
We'll always remember the 2024 season.
Yes, we will. Yes, we will.
But yeah,
I was not happy with Strowman. I really liked Verdugo. And you know what? A part of me wants to see Verdugo back because if he could grow into it kind of the way that I know, Pete, I know. Just hear me out.
you sound like
Hear me
Ray
out.
talking
Hear
about
me
the
out. I
Starfield. I'm hearing.
Ray only likes him because of his fucking grill and his do-rag. Okay. I actually like him because he has the potential to be a really good baseball player in with the Yankees. Remember what he did with the Red Sox. He was a really, really good player, like key player for them. Okay. We got on Rodon for the shit introduction he gave us his first year. And you know what? He grew into playing in New York every day.
The
And that
dog.
was evident last year. If we truly believe that Doogie is a dog, give him the bench to start the season. Give him the bench.
Doogie's a puppy, and he's not going to be back on the Yankees because he wants to go to a team, and I quote, where I can grow my facial hair out and wear all the chains that I want to and be myself.
Okay, then he's not a dog. Then goodbye.
That was that
Then
was a quote.
goodbye. Was that actually what he said?
That was a quote.
Okay. Anybody else who we want to sign wearing a do-rag, I'm gonna come through the screen and slap.
And you know what? One of the most things that I'm excited about, a full season of my man with the mustache, Austin Wells, behind the plate.
That's
Give me
fine. Austin Wells, that's
a
fine.
full season of Austin Wells catching baseballs, and none of this lefty, he's a lefty, and he's not gonna. No.
Agree.
Day,
Agree.
start him, sub him
Yes.
out once every 5 if you want to rest him, whatever, however you want to do it. He should be the starter no matter the matchup. He's going
Yeah.
to mash, and he could be a 30 home run guy for us.
I agree.
Fill that offensive void that Anthony Rizzo should have been. That the void that Anthony Rizzo would have been until Tatis Jr. concussed him and blew his brains out the 2023 season because Rizzo was never the same after that.
Joe Burrow, comeback player of the year.
Boy,
And
Joe.
you know what? And even 37-year-old Paul Goldschmidt is an upgrade at first base.
Upgrade.
Yes, I agree.
I'm not happy about it. I would have rather had the polar bear than.
Yeah, well, we could have had the polar bear for only $15 million more.
Here's why I think I don't think he would have been happy on the Yankees though. I think he really wanted to be a Met. And
Which
the
is
other thing
fine.
is, you know what? We built this infield to play defense. Oh yeah, this is looking real good for Dallas right now. There's actually some juice going on for Dallas right now. We built this infield to play defense.
Yeah.
And I feel like any kind of any guy who gives us 30 to 40 home runs, it's going to be icing on the cake.
Yeah.
Because it should be pitching and defense this year.
But I think offensively, Wellesley could be that guy. And then this is going to be the make or break year for our shortstop. I love the homegrown talent. I'm always behind that. I love the
Dominguez too. We get to see what Dominguez is.
Yes, like this Dominguez, he is taking Doogie's. He number 24.
Number 24.
I really like how Volpe finished the year. I really, early on in the season, I was, very up and down on him. He's a streaky ass player.
Very streaky.
But then as soon as the Yankees got into the playoffs, started seeing good things from him. It was the World Series where it was like, all right. He's a young player, so.
Well, we vomited on ourselves in that World Series.
I know. But, and it was not just one player. But you know what?
It's perfect failure on every level of baseball. Our World Series to me was that series against Cleveland, and I'll forever hold that Juan Soto go-ahead home run in just that that moment right there was the peak of the pinnacle
Tainted.
of our season last year. And I'm not going to stop giving Giancarlo Stanton his flowers.
Oh no.
I don't listen. You guys might have to just, hey, Pete, remember every time I bitch about him rounding third base like he has a refrigerator on his back and getting tagged out while he's running 1 mile an hour, you have to remind me that Giancarlo Stanton is a dog.
One of the best power postseason hitters of all time.
The ball goes out of the yard when he makes contact in the postseason.
Once the
Simple as that.
postseason starts, it's like he saves up all that energy from running that he tries to conserve during the year, and then it just explodes off the bat.
He's just clutch. He's one of the most clutch players ever.
And you know what? You don't have to run too fast when you do those things.
Nope.
You could take that handoff right there, coming around third base, and bam, hit a forearm.
Yeah, when you're swinging a tree trunk of a bat and just trying to send everything to the moon.
Aaron Judge, if you hear me, for your newborn baby girl, my future son says, "What's up?" Throwing that out. In-laws? Could be. Nah, I'm serious. But Aaron Judge, let's 75 home runs this year. Let's win a World Series.
75 home runs.
Maybe he can come get a new fucking handshake with somebody else because the boom, 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 the championship belt and the crown was amazing last year. We need something to just destroy that. Aaron Judge should just come out and just wears the crown.
I want Empire Strikes Back evil villain Aaron Judge.
I don't even want handshakes. I agree, Zach. I don't want handshakes. I want angry, mean Aaron Judge.
Okay.
Because Soto chose the Mets, and Soto chose the Mets. I want him to be, for his lack of recruiting, I want him to be fucking angry, nasty, villainous, screw the handshakes.
We want him to grow out a mustache and smoke a cigarette, right?
Mustache, bat flips, and getting tossed out of games.
Yeah. For opening day, I want him to hit a home run and then his next at bat get kicked out.
Yep.
Or he gets kicked out as he crosses home plate.
Yep. No, I'm not kidding. I don't want stupid handshakes this year. Yeah. I want all business.
Steps on home plate and just goes by the home plate umpire and just knocks his hat off.
Fine.
Or
I'm really actually being sincere. I don't want to see this little boy. I get it. He's a big kid. This year, all business.
He's like a Doberman that just hasn't grown into his skin yet.
Yes. Yes. His brain is now getting too big for his head. Doberman, something needs to happen. There needs to be some kind of switch that goes off now. He needs to go to that killer mentality.
127 to 120.
Yeah, what they did to Boston tonight in Boston was actually pretty impressive. I'm not going to lie. I watched this whole game.
Back to Aaron Judge, though. I want him.
Empire Strikes Back. Yeah. Evil. Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Talk mean to the press. I want it.
Doesn't talk to the press.
Mean Judge.
Aaron, how do you feel about today's game? Yeah, I hit a home run. I'm going to do it again. Next question.
It has to happen, bro. We need it. We need it.
Hey, Meredith, what's shaking? Going to hit a home run tomorrow.
The only way I will not be I will criticize him for doing the same thing unless he gets to the playoffs again instead of doing what he did last year and the year before and the year before that. Well, we didn't make it the year before that. Actually, have a good postseason.
He needs to have that.
Okay. Then he could get away with being the captain and acting the way that he's been acting lately.
What he needs to do. Needs to call up Alex Rodriguez. And I know Alex Rodriguez is a very polarizing figure.
I love A-Rod.
He's not everyone's cup of tea.
I
too
love A-Rod.
I love A-Rod. All
A-Rod
business.
guy.
All business.
Should be in the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
He should call A-Rod up because he already has the Jeter down. He knows how to do the Derek Jeter.
Yes.
He needs to call A-Rod up. A-Rod, rap with me here. Talk to me. 2009, you went to the playoffs. How'd you dial in? What did you do? Steroids? Okay. Give me your number. Give me the number of your guy. Let me get on that. Whatever Alex Rodriguez did to dial in for the 2009 playoffs, because
chip on the shoulder.
We do not win the World Series in 2009 without Alex Rodriguez in the playoffs.
Yeah. You know what happened? You know why he got dialed in? Because he was tired of everybody saying that he couldn't do shit in the postseason. And he got mad. Yeah. And then he became all business A-Rod. And that's when we won. Let's do it again.
I agree.
We want you. We want this. We support you.
Yeah.
Bring us
embody what this franchise is, which is Zach is right. The evil empire, even though our ownership group doesn't believe that it's the evil empire anymore, embody what this franchise is supposed to be as the captain of this team.
And when we make the playoffs or the World Series next year, I don't want Fat Joe. I want Jay-Z and Alicia Keys. That's what I want. I don't need Fat Joe stumbling on his words, tripping over himself.
Terrible.
I want someone from New York, not that bootleg bullshit. Give me 50 Cent. Give me
50
somebody.
Cent. 50 Cent. Great. Great. Give me 50 Cent.
Yeah. Fat Joe.
I have no issues with that.
I'm sorry. Lean back. Lean back. No. We were toasted.
You might as well have DJ Khaled at your freaking, nobody's going to take that seriously. Please give me a break.
Terrible.
So, Yankees win over 100 games. Aaron Judge, 75 home runs. Yankees win the World Series, avenging our loss to the Dodgers.
Well, we'll see.
Okay. From your lips to God's ears. Mean Judge. Mean Judge.
Mean Aaron Judge. Double it up. Aaron Judge right now. Go to your sports betting app, whatever you're doing, Caesar Sportsbook. Aaron Judge MVP plus the Yankees winning the World Series. Put $25 on it. You're welcome in advance.
That bet's got to be plus 10,000 if it exists.
You're welcome.
It'll be a good bet.
You're welcome. Hit me up in the DMs, and I'll let you know what you can buy my son and Dano's son for a gift.
Yeah. If you actually make that bet and it all happens, then you'll probably be rolling in it. So, congratulations in advance.
All right, let's talk about the other New York team this offseason. The team that stole Juan Soto from the Yankees, Uncle Stevie Cohen, the new richest owner in all of baseball, the new New York Yankees actual owner, Stevie Cohen, bottomless pits, monies, even though the Yankees have bottomless pits too. They just have, this self-imposed salary cap.
We cry poverty.
Yeah, we cry poverty. Hate them. Juan Soto, obviously the biggest signing in American history. They brought back Sean Manaea. They brought in Clay Holmes to be a starter. They brought back the polar bear. Kodai Senga, should be healthy. I know he had a serious issue with that shoulder blade. Should be healthy. And you just kind of hope that you get repeat performances from the other players that are on the team, like Vientos and Nimmo, and they're going to rely on their coaching staff to try to bring the best out of whatever players that they have. And the the Mets play in the National League. You have to get through the Braves, who are fully healthy. You have to get through the Phillies, and you have to get through the Dodgers. I think the Padres are good too. I don't think the Padres are better than the Mets though.
No.
So it's still going to be a rough road, a tough road for the Mets to get to the dance. Like I said, I'm sure they'll meet the Dodgers in the NLCS. I mean, what the Dodgers have done has just, I mean, they've completely stacked the deck so much that, we're going to get a salary cap in the next couple of years. So we as Yankee fans need to at least see one ring before that happens. I mean, because it's going to happen. These owners are going to complain, and, that's the direction that we're headed in. But, in terms
Once
of
the
the
big
Mets,
market teams complain, then that's how you know things might change.
yeah, big market teams are complaining. The Yankees
Yeah.
are complaining about the Yankees ownership is complaining about the Dodgers spending too much money. I hate Hal Steinbrenner with such a passion it fucking hurts. But anyway, Mets, it's going to be a very exciting season for them. Easily the most exciting season probably ever. And you just hope that they can recreate the magic of last year, and now they have Soto.
I,
Ooh,
I wanna I
It's
wanna point something out
great.
because I think this is a key piece to the Mets that a lot of people are forgetting about. And this player that I'm about to name gained a lot of respect from a lot of old head Mets fans who had previously not really cared for him or were just kind of like up and down with them. Francisco Lindor is a bona fide superstar, and now he is absolutely the embodiment of the New York Mets and their fan base, and a hardcore player, a dog, if you will. Okay, everybody's forgetting that they have this guy, and you look at the numbers that he put up last year; they were incredible for a shortstop. The only reason why he wasn't getting MVP consideration is because Soto and Judge were having the years that they were having.
Carried them
Go,
in the
go,
post.
yeah, go back and look at the numbers. Absolutely insane. So you combine that with Juan Soto and what the Mets have in the bullpen. Okay, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt that Clay Holmes isn't going to work out as a starter. A lot of people are thinking that. I think the Mets pitching staff is good. They have faith in their pitching and their coaches to get things right. But even if even if Clay Holmes doesn't work out as a starter, they could send him back to the bullpen. And now you have an even stronger bullpen than you had before. So there's the trade deadline where they could add pieces where they need a starter. I think if you're a Mets fan, you should be over the moon excited, even with all the competition that there is in the National League. The door is wide open for the Mets to make some serious runs for years to come, and I don't see that door closing anytime soon.
Sure. I mean, when we when the Mets had Scherzer and Verlander, right, was not going well. And they sold both of them off, and they said, "Hey, we don't plan on competing for another 4 years." That was a year ago.
Yeah,
Like, and they went that far. They made a run to the playoffs. Like, they're ahead of schedule. You add in a guy like Juan Soto, only helps your roster, right?
that lineup is so much better, and it was a good lineup last year.
So yeah, I'm not discrediting anything the Mets. I mean, Clay Holmes as a starter, I I'm here to see it. I don't know how it's going to work out, but I think I know how it's going to work out. But hey, if that's that, they're competent in their rotation because they didn't go out and get anybody else really.
No,
So,
and they could go with the 6-man rotation. I actually wouldn't be surprised if they went with the 6-man rotation, especially if Clay Holmes just ends up getting sent back to the bullpen. Um, I think that I think that there's plenty of room for Mets pitching to improve from now to the trade deadline. There's plenty of room.
but I mean, we're kidding ourselves if, I mean, this is like we say, it's Patrick Mahomes' world and we're just living in it. This is Los Angeles Dodgers world, and we just occupy the space in and around their free agents. I mean, it's easy. It's easy as that. That team that won the World Series in dominant fashion got better, like light years better in the offseason.
Yeah, I expect them to win. Simple as that. I expect them to win it all again. Jared Verse, defensive player or rookie of the year.
Yeah, it's what the Dodgers have done is just insane. I mean, Shohei's going to pitch now next year. Um, Snell is in there. You have two guys coming off injuries. I mean, it's just
They have Sasaki and what's his name?
oh yeah, they added Sasaki. It's like why even, I get it.
Now,
I get it if you're a baseball fan. Like if you're not, like Dan said, if you're not a Mets fan or if you're not a Yankee fan, like are you really even confident that any other team is going to do anything at all? Like I get the rumblings that no one's really excited for baseball this year. Like I understand that. And it is until that salary cap comes in, this is what it's going to be. So
I think New York and LA people are excited about baseball.
yeah, that's what I
It's
said.
as,
Yeah.
it's as simple as that.
Yeah,
and
New
I
York and
know
LA are excited about baseball. Everyone
I'm
else.
gonna put my woo woo my feelers out. I'm gonna put it into the universe. Fernando Tatis Jr. is gonna be a Yankee in the next 2 years.
Oh, is this what you're saying about Volpe? You is that where you were going with the whole Volpe thing earlier? Hmm.
He's gonna play shortstop.
No, Lord.
Yeah, he sure can.
Oh Lord. Oh Lord.
The
Now,
Padres,
he's a right-handed power hitter, though. Do we want to bring in a right-handed power hitter, or should we go heavy lefty like we used to do? Or do you not care?
Tatis Jr. Fuck.
oh, by the way,
Freaking it.
this the first baseman Mirakawi, that's coming out for Japan.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
Mirakawa.
yeah, I mean, I love how we think we're going to get him, but it's like so not going to happen.
It's gonna be a Dodger.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
he's
going
gonna
he's going
be.
to the Dodgers.
Yeah, I don't care that Freddie Freeman's their first baseman. I don't care that Shohei's their DH. They can sign him and they can do whatever they want with him.
Yeah. Yeah, they could have a team of Japanese players who all are friends with each other and have no egos and just want to win, and they could win the World Series every year
Yep.
All I'm
with the super
saying
team.
is if we live in a world where Shohei's interpreter gets 57 months in prison for taking the fall for gambling for Shohei Ohtani, Dodgers can make anything happen.
Yeah, the Dodgers
They-
are the face of it. The Dodgers run baseball. So it's the Dodgers world and we're all just living in it. So
This guy took the fall for Ohtani and he owes Ohtani $17 million.
yeah, sure.
Ohtani right now, this guy's 57 months stay in prison. He's in like a luxurious, like 10-star hotel where Ohtani just has everything sent to this guy. Thank you so much for taking the fall. That's what the Dodgers
Yeah.
are deferring the contract because they're paying this guy right now to stay quiet.
And when he gets out of prison in 56, 57 months and goes back to Japan, he will have money in his account that will last him and his family for generations.
So those parlays hit, baby.
That, my friends, is called hush money, best friend money, whatever you want to. I mean, call it whatever you want, really.
It's hush money, but
It's hush money.
it is what it is. Everyone with an actual brain knows what actually happened there. So
Mhm.
love Jeff passing to death. He has to say what he has to say to keep his job, but I'm sure he knows
Yeah.
better too. All right. Well, with that being said, let's preview the Super Bowl here. Super Bowl 59, a rematch between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles. The
Let's
Chiefs are looking for the three-peat. The Eagles are looking for their second championship ever, with Saquon Barkley looking for his first. Um, who do we think is going to win the game? Why do we think they're going to win the game? How do we think this game's going to play out? Um, I'll kind of go first here a little bit. I called this in the off season last season. There's multiple records of me saying this. I got the Chiefs in a three-peat. It's the perfect storyline for the NFL, and the NFL has made sure that that storyline plays out properly here. Interesting side note: the Saquon Barkley has never played against the Kansas City Chiefs, so it's going to be very interesting to see how Spagnuolo sets up those defensive schemes for him. Um, and I love how the NFL and the Roger Goodell himself and the referees committee had to put out a statement saying that there's no collusion in trying to get the Chiefs to win. The fact that you even have to mention it at all is an admission of guilt, in my opinion.
Agree.
And because if it wasn't true, you wouldn't say anything. Like why you're defending yourself if there's no need to defend yourself. So that's my opinion on that. So it's and the numbers back it up. The numbers prove that they've helped carry the Chiefs throughout this whole season and into the playoffs. So there's no reason why I would think that would change at all right now. Anyway, I do think the Chiefs complete the three-peat. Travis Kelce will retire, go into the sunset with Tay and take all the Swifties with him. Hopefully, please, for the love of God. They wanted to make sure that they could get every last little bit of those Tay Swifty monies that the Chiefs were bringing to the NFL. And because listen, on paper, the Eagles are better. I do think the Eagles are the better team. The problem is they don't have the better quarterback and they don't have the better coach. And I think we're going to get a very similar result of what happened last time. I think both teams will score a shitload of points, and it's going to come down to the end. And I think the better quarterback and the better head coach will win. And I think that's what's going to happen here. I think Saquon has a huge game, and I think he has 150 yards and maybe two touchdowns. But I think Jalen Hurts doesn't have a good game. Jalen Hurts has not been great this year. Um, and it's really, I think, going to rely on him more than anything, because we know what Saquon's going to do. We know what AJ Brown's going to do. We don't know what Jalen Hurts is going to do. He hasn't been the same since that first Super Bowl run, and he really hasn't done anything to prove to the football world that he can be that guy again, especially with such a stacked team. But we're going to see. I do think, like Dan said, I'm gonna stick to my guns. I'm not gonna change my mind now, week of Super Bowl. I called the three-peat in the offseason, and I ain't changing that. Three-peat, Chiefs.
all right. I mean, well said. Well said. Well said. Just I put it up before, but we'll break this. Josh Allen, your MVP right there.
Well deserved.
Deserving.
Well deserved.
Well
Very
deserved.
happy for him.
Happy for the dude. I guess it's the consolation prize to coming up short against Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Which
They,
he'll do forever, by the way. He'll never
they
win.
It's a consolation prize for basically carrying that team on his shoulders every year since he's been in the league.
remember in the beginning of the year. I'm going to apologize again to him formally because I did besmirch upon Josh Allen's name. I hope
Is Pete, did that leak? Because it's not official.
it's
There's nothing
all
official.
all over the.
It's not on my feed.
No,
No, it's not official.
Also, shout out to Jared Allen, who's been elected to the Hall of Fame.
That is awesome. I
Love
love Jared Allen.
So,
My Bleacher Report is not coming up right now.
Maybe I'm just in the weeds over here of just
I think you're in the weeds.
Saquon wins Offensive Player of the Year. I think a lot of us saw that coming. I don't see any NFL MVP news yet.
No.
All right. Oh, I'm going to break it first right now. You heard it here first from me. The first guy on the job right there. I had the graphic up and everything. We'll see if it's accurate.
I think it's a fake graphic, but we'll
I think Bill's Mafia had something to do with that graphic.
So anyway, how I said earlier in the year, I talked a lot of poo-poo on his name, and I closed the window of their Super Bowl. I cracked it open halfway through the year because they were looking pretty good. I just closed it again. Josh Allen, if you hear this, Raider Nation, baby.
Oh, you want him on the Raiders? Okay.
He's never leaving the Raiders. Sam Darnold's going to be Pete Carroll's quarterback.
All right, enough negativity over there. Anyway,
that's a negative.
Yes, I don't want to.
I mean, it is a better option than what y'all had last year.
Pete Carroll's not interested in the
Should have been Aiden O'Connell from the jump, and we wouldn't be in the position where, oh my God, should we play Aiden O'Connell? Should we not play Aiden O'Connell? Gardner Minshew should have never been the quarterback of the Las Vegas Raiders. Said it from day one, and
have fun with Sam Darnold.
And your coach should have been Jim Harbaugh, and I said that from the beginning.
Said that from day one too. So you know what? It's going to take a guy named Pete to turn that franchise around. I've always said it. Pete's the best interest of the Raiders. So, Tom Brady, thank you. Bringing in somebody that knows what they're doing. We'll see where it goes. Anyway, to the Super Bowl.
Eli Manning is not a Hall of Famer.
Wow.
He will not be first ballot.
Whoa.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
I don't think that's right.
Eric Allen. Hell yeah. Let's go, baby. Shout out Raiders. Finally got the nod. Wow.
That's wild.
Man.
So
I don't know how a two-time Super Bowl MVP doesn't make the Hall of Fame first ballot. I don't know how.
Jared Allen, Sterling Sharp, Eric Allen, and Antonio Gates.
Antonio Gates, absolutely. Jared Allen, absolutely.
Eric Allen, absolutely.
Eric Allen definitely has been a deserving. I mean, eventually he was going to get in. I think that Eli is a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Snub.
Yeah, I think he got snubbed, man.
I bet Peyton had something to do with it.
Yeah, you think?
You know what? He got snubbed because of the media. There were so many media narratives that he didn't belong into it. I think there was a lot of politics involved with that. I'm going to be honest, because if Troy Aikman is a first ballot Hall of Famer, then fucking Eli Manning is. Like, sorry, argue with a wall. But anyway, back to the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl. Kansas City Chiefs in the last 18 games have not allowed a 100-yard rusher. That's going to be the story right there. They're going to keep Saquon Barkley in check. I disagree with Saquon Barkley running for 150 yards. I think Saquon Barkley doesn't break the century mark. It is going to come down to what Hurts does. Could he have another Herculean Super Bowl performance? Maybe. But again, experience is a real thing, especially in the Super Bowl where the lights are the brightest and the pressure's on. Patrick Mahomes is a 3-time Super Bowl winner. He's going to go back to back to back. It's the Chiefs' world. It's Patrick Mahomes' world. We just occupy the space. And that's coming from a Raiders fan. Dano, I would love to know what you're sipping down there. Look,
it doesn't have alcohol in it. Alicia found a sparkling grape drink that she brought to her ceramics painting class tonight. just so you know. No alcohol. And
Jose Grape, shout
and
out.
it's pretty good.
All right.
It's pretty good.
It looked good. That's why I shouted it out right there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm going Chiefs. I'm going to go 36-24. 28. 36-28.
So before I give my Super Bowl prediction, I want to go into what Zach was saying earlier with the referees. 100% agree. And I was listening to Francesa today, who has always been on the side of no, the NFL is not rigged, and I've always kind of agreed with that. But his very good friend Jim Nantz, I guess, compelled him after this last game against the Bills to go back and look at how many calls have gone for the Chiefs and not for anybody else. And he actually came on his show today for the first time that I've ever heard him criticize the NFL for even having to make a statement concerning the referees. If there's nothing going on, then why would you need to make a statement? So
I disagree with this, and I'm in the minority, I know. And this is coming as a divisional rival, as a Raiders fan. You're always going to get when you're the team, right? When you're the guy, you're always going to get the call. And it may not always, to me, that's know that into it.
Pete, I said it too. You know, after the game was over and the whole world complained about all the flags, I was like, you know what? The Bills still had opportunities to win the game. You have to beat them up if you want to win. So I agree with you. I'm not saying that's the reason why the Bills lost, but I thought it was interesting that we are now starting to see legacy NFL people start to bring this up as something that ought to be looked at because, and he said it himself, this is not the reason why the Bills lost. The Bills still got outplayed and they still didn't show up when the moments were, the biggest. So I'm not saying that this is why the Bills lost. I'm not saying that. But what he did, Francesa, this is the first time I ever heard him do this. He went back and looked at every big play the last two games, and there was not one controversial call that went the opposite team's way. Every one of those controversial calls went the Chiefs' way. Just something to look at going forward. I'm not saying that there's a rigged job
I saw
going
the numbers too. I think there was one like unnecessary roughness penalty called against them, as opposed to it was like a 9-1 swing of the penalties. I mean, yes, it looks bad. But
it looks bad. You have to admit. You have to admit it looks bad.
I don't know. I don't.
But with all that being said, I don't think the Chiefs are going to win. Okay, I think the game is going to be called even. I think that the Eagles are the more talented team. You're right, Zach. Eagles have the Eagles have, or I should say, the Chiefs have the better coach and the better quarterback. Well, you know what? The Eagles, the Patriots had the better coach and the better quarterback when they lost to Doug Peterson and Nick Foles. And Nick Foles went throw for throw. I'm not saying that Jalen Hurts is going to have that kind of game. I don't think he will, but I think that Saquon will have that kind of game. I don't think that the Chiefs have played a team like this that could run the ball like this, and that's why I liked Baltimore. I liked a potential Baltimore matchup against them. I thought that was the best way for us to get a Super Bowl without the Kansas City Chiefs, and they failed. Okay. I think that the Chiefs have huge problems at tackle. Joe Tooney's a great guard. He's not a great tackle. The other player that they have on the other side is a walking penalty and is probably one of the worst players at his position in the league. The Eagles are loaded at defensive end. Loaded at defensive end.
Can I bring this?
And defensive tackle. Go ahead.
Apparently, there is a bug going through the Eagles locker room, and Jalen Carter was severely ill, and it has spread through the locker room Um,
You're kidding me.
no, I read this today.
Oh no,
So,
yeah, there's a serious flu going around the Eagles right now.
I haven't looked at my phone all day.
so I don't know if this is going to. I mean, for all I know, this could be the Eagles flu game. This could be the Jordan flu game, and
Okay.
but
The
Or
other
the
thing I
perfect
was
excuse for when they lose. Oh, they're sick.
right
all
now,
right.
Patrick Mahomes is in a lab coat with Andy Reid and Roger Goodell, and they're cooking up. They cooked up bird flu, and they dropped it over to the Eagles hotel.
Okay. Well, the other thing that I was going to bring up, but maybe it doesn't matter now because the whole Eagles team might be sick. The other thing I was going to bring up is that ticket prices for the Super Bowl are plummeting. Plummeting. Nobody wants to go to this game. You know who's going to go to this game? Eagles fans. It's going to end up being an Eagles home game, and it's gonna sound like an Eagle. I'm telling you right now, the
There's
tickets
a
are going
couple.
for face value.
There's a
The-
couple of celebrities that are like not opting to go to the Super Bowl this year that
You
are.
got to think, yeah, you got to think about it this way too. Chiefs fans, this will be the third one in a row. How many Chiefs fans could spend thousands of dollars every year going to the Super Bowl?
No one
So
can afford the Super Bowl. It's so overpriced. It's priced out of our hands. If our team ever went to the Super Bowl,
Yeah, it's
the best we're getting is a plane ride to wherever it is, and maybe we can rent a car and tailgate it.
well, and that Francesa was saying, if there was ever any time where you think you might be able to go to the Super Bowl, go to this one because it'll be affordable. Now the hotels stay if you're going to the Super Bowl, you're going to pay $4,500 a night for a minimum of 3 nights. That right there is going to kill you. If you could figure out how to go to the game just to pay face value, stay at a hotel 300 miles away somewhere in Louisiana,
Rent a car and
rent
park
a
on the
car.
street and just
You
sleep
can
in your car.
This is a Super Bowl where regular people could go to because the tickets are going for face value, and that doesn't usually happen. That's why I'm predicting an Eagles home crowd at this game.
Predicting a Chiefs Super Bowl win with the Eagles home crowd at the Super Bowl. And
Would I be surprised?
spoiler alert, Philadelphia is going to burn to the ground, win or lose.
Probably. I don't think Travis Kelce is a lock to retire no matter what happens. I also don't think there's no shot Andy Reid is retiring. No shot.
Andy Reid already said, I'm coming back, baby.
Yeah.
yeah. Reid said I'm coming back.
I'm coming
But
back.
I really don't think it's a lock that Kelce retires. I really don't think that.
He's not.
I think that he could play for another year or two.
Playoff
We'll see.
Kelce is a real thing. I mean,
Yep.
he dogged it during the season, but I mean, also think about this. The majority of his offseason was spent jettisoning the world with the biggest star on the planet.
Yeah, and we said he came into training camp completely out of shape. So he had to work his way into shape.
No game shape, jet lagged, like yeah. But I mean,
Super Bowl MVP will be Saquon Barkley. I'm telling you right now.
Super Bowl MVP. I mean, it's probably going to be Patrick Mahomes. But if it's not Patrick Mahomes, my upset, my player to watch,
Xavier Worthy, Texas.
Xavier Worthy. He's going to have, there's going to be like one or two plays that he makes, especially when he catches the ball and then he does that 1-2 yard drop step backwards. And then it's like he loads up like it's pinball. Like you pull the lever back for you kids at home, for you TikTokers that don't know what pinball is. It's a magical game. You pull that baby back and just release, and he just bam shoots off. And I'm like, where's he? He's not going. Oh wow. He just went 40 yards down the field without even thinking.
Do you know what Worthy has going against him in this game? He's a rookie. And I understand that he's the fastest player on the field, but he
Right?
still makes a lot of mistakes.
Oh, absolutely.
And he does that move that you're talking about way too often, especially in situations where the first down's right there. Get the first down. That could come back to haunt them in this game, a play like that. I'm telling you.
All right. And then I'm going to defer to another player, Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, I can see that. Kareem Hunt's been great.
That's a battle-tested player right there.
Zach, who's MVP? Patrick Mahomes? Did you already say it?
Not yet.
Oh.
Not yet. Don't worry, I'm keeping track.
Zach, who's your MVP?
Statistics wise, it should be Lamar. If we're going optics wise, it should be Josh Allen.
Oh no, I'm talking Super Bowl.
We're talking Super Bowl.
Super Bowl MVP, Patrick Mahomes.
All right.
That's kind of what I figured.
Because if they're going to win, it's going to be because of him. So
listen. Barry Switzer coached the Cowboys to a win in '96 against Bill Cowher and the NFL MVP Neil O'Donnell that year. Okay, Barry Switzer was out of the league shortly after that.
O'Donnell.
All I'm saying is that do not count out the more talented team here. They are the more talented team. The Chiefs have more weaknesses than people realize.
They were the more talented team the first time around too, by the way.
And the other thing is what they didn't have going for them the first time around was they are plus in the turnover battle throughout the entire postseason. So if that remains the same, I don't see how they're going to lose.
Oh, this could be breaking news, but I don't know if it's accurate or not. But the Cardinals have re-engaged talks with the Yankees to explore a potential trade for Nolan Arenado.
Oh, great! The Yankees are going to be the retirement home Yankees this year.
Oh my God, this guy!
I would be. That's another player that plays solid defensive infield. Like, I wouldn't be mad at that. I'm not seeing this anywhere though. So I'm guessing Spencer Jones would have to be involved in a trade like that.
No, he's untouchable, man. He's the next Aaron Judge.
Oh, Lord.
All right, back to football. So, Super Bowl. If you had to put a prop parlay together right now for touchdowns, it's going to be 4 players who you think scoring a touchdown this week, Dan.
Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, AJ Brown, and Dallas Goedert.
Wow, all 4
all 4 of them are going to score. Saquon's going to score 2.
Zach?
I got Saquon scoring. I do have a Jalen Hurts tush push. And I have a Travis Kelce and a Mahomes rushing.
Okay. I go with the Saquon, going with the Hurts tush push, going with Kareem Hunt, and I want to say Travis Kelce, but I'm going Xavier Worthy.
I would pick Noah Gray over Travis Kelce in this game.
Also, I think there could be an oddball with like Juju or Watson or D-Hop or Marquise Brown. Like one of those weird Hollywood Brown right there throwing first downs. Some props to watch out for. I think Patty Mahomes might rush for like 25, 30 yards. Super duper prop bet here. If you see it anywhere, the Philly special.
Oh, Lord.
I think the Chiefs do it.
That's so funny. I was gonna say that. I was gonna say to look out for that because I could see Andy Reid plotting that from a mile away like trying to stick it to the Eagles.
I, I
And you know what? No coach out there knows the Eagles better than him. Like that's why I
he
think
still knows the Eagles better than
like
me.
I think if the Eagles played any other team, I would pick them to win. I'm being so serious about that. I would pick them to win against any other team, but just because it's Andy Reid and the Chiefs. That's just
I
that's
think the other thing that the Chiefs have going against them in this game is there's been so much about the refereeing, right? And now the NFL actually comes out with a statement that you're going to see they're not going to favor them with calls. I'm telling you right now. Do not expect to see the Chiefs get calls in their favor this week. I don't think that's a lock. I think there's a better chance you see it going the other way.
Again, another prop bet right now just popped into my head. Bang. Jawan Taylor has at least two false
False
starts.
starts.
Yeah. Two
Yeah.
false starts and a hold.
Yes. That's almost a lock.
He's been good though. He's cleaned it up in this postseason because he's the only person like I dial in watching him because that fucking 5 second early fucking shuttle back.
he false starts every play.
Every
Every single
Every
play.
play. He's going to get killed. He's going to get killed in this game.
So does Lane Johnson, by the way. He false starts every play.
They have to just do this. Close their eyes and just completely look by the guy that's startling ahead at least like 1-2 seconds before the ball snap.
Every time.
Every
time without fail, and it never gets called. It never gets called.
Also, I'm going to take this opportunity right now to say that the last team to beat the Chiefs at home was the Las Vegas Raiders, so let's not let us forget that.
So, just a little tidbit before we go off the air here. Mr. Ari Murav from My Sports Update.
Right fucking love Ari Murav.
Love Ari. He is my Adam Schefter. Fuck Adam Schefter. Probably has more followers than Adam Schefter, actually.
Him and Ian Rappaport, come on, man.
So he put out some reports from the Hall of Fame committee. He's saying, I don't expect the final numbers to be released, but from what I'm hearing, Eli Manning wasn't remotely close to getting in this year.
Wow.
The other tidbit was voters viewed Luke Kuechly and Adam Vinatieri as stronger first ballot candidates than Eli. None of them made it, but Kuechly and Vinatieri had stronger support in the room.
Adam Vinatieri had stronger support?
I'm telling you, bro, it's all politics. I think because the Giants are just a joke. And I think that's because the numbers speak for themselves. You know, he's the only guy to beat Brady twice, only guy top 10 in passing yards and passing touchdowns, second most consecutive starts, most passing yards in a postseason, most fourth quarter comebacks. I mean, I could just go on and on. I mean, it's just crazy that he's not a first ballot Hall of Fame. I'm sorry. It's pure politics that he's not in because the Giants are a joke and they're a laughing stock now. And, you know, it's pure Eli Manning bias. And he's had bias his whole career. You know, the reason why he's not in is because, his record was terrible. Yeah, because the Giants were always terrible. They never gave him good teams. Like, quarterback record is so much a team record. This is a team sport. There's only so much that he could have done. Like, no all pros, no MVPs, only 4 Pro Bowls. Like, that's all they looked at. They didn't look at anything else.
The last time the Giants were a juggernaut, they had Plaxico Burress on the team. That was 13 years ago.
Yeah, so whatever.
Kevin O'Connell, Coach of the Year.
Called that.
Deserved.
Now, next year, the list of first eligible Hall of Famers, you got Drew Brees, you got to figure lock, right?
Walk in.
Larry Fitzgerald, lock.
No?
Larry?
I don't want to call him a lock.
I don't want to call him a lock.
Frank Gore?
No.
I don't know if he's a lock. I think both of these players will get in eventually.
Bill Belichick, obviously, lock.
I forget it. Not even a discussion.
Shady McCoy, not a Hall
No,
of Famer.
no,
Todd Gurley, not a Hall of Famer.
no. And if they get in before Eli does, then it's time to have a serious discussion about who votes on these things.
Marquise Pouncey, lock.
Yes.
And then the most intriguing, Philip Rivers. If Eli's
Mhm.
a Hall of Famer,
Philip Rivers should not get in before Eli. If they do,
Yeah,
the NFL is a joke.
yeah. He's not a Hall of Famer before Eli. I agree with that.
there's some interesting names. Jason Witten,
He's a Hall of Famer. Absolutely.
first ballot.
No, but he's a Hall of Famer.
Julian Edelman.
No,
No.
he's not. He's not a Hall of Famer.
Only Patriots fans will tell you who he is.
Even with the Super Bowls, the MVP.
No.
Deion Branch isn't a Hall of Famer. He won Super Bowl MVP.
He wasn't as good as Edelman, though.
I'd have to look at the numbers, but right off the top, I don't view him as at least first ballot. Maybe he gets in eventually.
Yeah, there's some interest. Des Bryant's eligible.
Nah.
Greg Olson,
He's borderline to me.
borderline. Never won a ship though, so. But yeah, Drew Brees is going to be the
Lock of the whole class.
Yeah, he should
Most
be a
likely.
lock.
Player, not Belichick.
Big Bill.
You see Belichick at the awards tonight. He's wearing 4 rings on one finger, and his girlfriend's wearing like 2 rings on her finger. Super Bowl rings.
No, when you're a dog, you can do that.
When you're a dog, you can do that.
Oh man.
All right, well, with that being said, we went very, very long, and I'm so glad that we went really long. There was a lot
We're
of
back, baby.
we are back.
We are so back.
Yep, we are back. Very much love that we are back. I'm pretty much settled in here now. Adulting is fun. I still think I'm 18, I don't feel, it is what it is. I'll always be a big
You
kid.
are 18, you fucking.
Alicia just said her too, and me too. I'm 38, but I feel like I'm 18 sometimes. Sometimes, not a lot of times. Sometimes.
Listen, there's a few things in life where you always think will be constants, and being a kid will always be one of them for me anyway.
Dogs. Old fucking dogs.
Here's to being old big kids. Well, Zach, you're not old yet.
Yeah,
but
you're a puppy still.
You're still a big kid.
Yeah. Still a big kid. Yeah, I'm still in the 20s.
You're like that Great Dane that still hasn't filled out their loose skin yet.
One more year of being in the 20s. Next, 2026, I'll join the 30 club.
It goes fast after that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Once 30 hits, oh boy, does it start flying by. Enjoy it.
Dan was 36.
Yeah,
I was 36 for 2 years. I forgot how old I was, because seriously, once you hit 30, and then you're like, okay, and then you're past 35, it's like, all right, I don't even care how old I am anymore. I don't even care what number I'm up to. Like, that's just where I was at that point in my life. I remembered I'm 38 now, so we're good.
That's like what my dad's friend Jason says, fellow Pittsburgh Steeler diehard down there in Pittsburgh. When you just go to 50, you just go backwards. Just go backwards. You don't go forward. Go backwards.
I agree with that.
Listen, listen, by time one of us Dano, by the time you turn 50, I hope one of us celebrates a Super Bowl victory.
And from your lips to God's ears.
And it's not a Chiefs 40 repeat. And they're just winning Super Bowls.
Our friends down here are finally starting to realize how big a Jet fan I am, and they were like, They asked me would I pray to the rosary or something like that and they think that I'm Catholic. They don't really know my beliefs. Traditional Italian Catholic, I guess, was their thought there. And I was like, if it brought me a Jets Super Bowl, I'd think about it.
Listen, I sign me up for whatever religion makes the Raiders Super Bowl. Listen,
I get it. We want it.
Pray to God every night that it'll be different and not just maximum pain.
Maximum pain.
Maximum pain.
That is what we get.
The title of this new episode. So, with that being said, peace out, everybody. We'll be back shortly after the Super Bowl. We'll probably get in and we'll preview the MLB season. We'll get Mr. Detello in here. He's reserved his spot to talk baseball when we do our all baseball episode here probably in a couple of weeks.
Talk baseball to me, baby. Talk baseball to me. Pictures.
I'm ready.
Report.
Pete, you got me psyched.
I got you jacked up. Listen,
yeah, you got me jacked
up. Day tickets. I'm ready. Let's go. Like and subscribe. We're back.
I will not be going to opening day.
So
I will not be going to opening day either.
You're expecting a kid, so that's different.
Well, we have a wedding. We have a wedding that weekend, unfortunately. So
opening day is on Thursday. Zero excuses. Call out. Take a sick day.
Wear your do-rag.
Wear your do-rags.
I still have it. I made sure to keep it. It is safe. It is safe in the closet.
I do-rag, baby. Because guess what? This year we get Garrett Cole for a full season. How about that? How about that? Hang your hat on. Or your do-rag. Or your
I hope. But with that being said, good luck with the Super Bowl. Get your bets in. Make some money for the last game of the year. Hopefully it's a good game. And hopefully I don't have to see the Eagles win a fucking Super Bowl. So, peace out. Oh, hold on. NFL MVP Josh Allen. Official.
Oh, they're right there. Breaking news. That's right. You're welcome.
Snuck in that breaking news real quick.
Breaking news right there.
Right at the end there.
And that's what you get on an episode of Dog. Talk Sports.